Hi guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Hero Show. Back with you again. A little absence last week due to a late delivery, just with the Queen's funeral being on the Monday, no deliveries. We got it on the Tuesday. It took me until about 9:30 at night on the Tuesday to get it done, and then back in early on the Wednesday to get everything done, because we always want to make sure pull lists are ready on the Wednesday. We always want to make sure the new releases are on the racks, on the graphic novel racks, etc, etc. So sometimes the YouTube stuff will take a little bit of a back place to that. The store will always come first in that scenario. So again, I want to make sure everything's ready for when we open up at 10 a.m. on the Wednesday. So a couple of bits and pieces just to get out of the way. First of all, so you may have seen the other video on the podcast net, or on the YouTube network, talking about the upcoming initiative we're going to be running with brand new number ones from creators that we respect and whose work we enjoy. Kicking off, of course, this week with Old Dog. So if you haven't checked that out, go and have a look. It's a pretty exciting initiative. We're very, happy and vocal to support these creators and, try and throw whatever weight we have behind them, I suppose. So yeah, definitely keep a lookout for that. As I said, it's going to be kicking off with Old Dog number one this week. It's going to be 25% below full price. And again, it's just so people give these titles a go, and then maybe they find something they like and stick with it. And, these creators do well in their creator-owned titles. So again, hopefully the work speaks for itself. It finds more of an audience, and we'll go from there. So that's number one. Number two is we are going to be sending off another batch of CGC at the end of October. So if anybody has anything they want to drop off to us, it'll be kept upstairs, away from natural light, sealed plastic box. You can drop it in before the end of October. It's just that's when we'll be sending them off. So we sort of have that cutoff point for that. Check out the podcast network. Coming up soon, there's a brand new interview on there with a couple of creators I'm very excited to chat to. I'll be chatting to them tonight. I'm recording this on the Tuesday morning, chatting to them on the Tuesday night. It's a full-on one today. So really looking forward to that. And again, that's going to be put up through the podcast network, but also through the YouTube channel as well. So keep an eye out for those. And then just one last thing, just regarding pull lists. I feel a little bit like a broken record here, but we've had another pull list let us down in the last day or so. Let almost 30 titles build up. They've been building up for a few months, and then they just dropped us a message saying now that could they cancel it and just put all the stock out. It's a little frustrating because we make it as easy as possible for people to cancel things. We really do. Just don't let it build up for those amount of months. It's titles are ordered in specifically for people. They are held back when maybe other customers are looking for those titles, but we will always give pull lists first, first refusal on those essentially, so it means you're guaranteed those titles, but that means sometimes walk-in customers are missing out because they're staying in the box. But I mean, that's upwards of £100 now. That's cost the business, when a simple phone call or message a couple of months ago really would have done the job. As I say, we're not that scary of people. Just let us know and we will always cancel it. It is not a problem, but just please don't let it build up with months worth of titles. It's the pull list itself was only 6 or 7 titles, but there's 4 or 5 issues of each in there, which means it's been going on for a few months. And we never want to be that business that puts a very strict thing down where it says, right, if you don't pick them up in a month, they're gone or they're going out or whatever. We don't want to do that. We understand life gets in the way. We understand that you may not be able to get to us every week or every month, so we will keep them there. But please let us know if you don't want them, because it's not a fun way to start a Tuesday, I'm not going to lie. So, but it's a danger of the business. And again, it probably sounds like I'm complaining about this a lot, but 95% of our customers are absolutely fantastic, and there's no issues there at all. So, but yeah, just if you're having any problems, I know the world is really tough right now. Comics are very much a luxury. But if you are having problems, drop us a message. We can pause pull lists, we can cancel them outright, whatever. But again, just as long as we know, it would be massively, massively appreciated. So yeah, so that's pretty much all the housekeeping out of the way, if you will. A couple of things that came into the store, which is really cool before I jump into this week's new releases. I just recently took stock of a complete run of Garth Ennis's Punisher, Punisher Max series in single issue form, as well as that, some mini series. There's some loads of new packs coming into the store in the next sort of week or so that'll be going out. We obviously ran the Batman Day promotion, so there was a bit of an emphasis on that for a while, but there'll be such a selection of comic packs, 6-issue runs, 4-issue runs, mini series, things like that I've been working hard on, and they'll be going out on the in the next week or two as well. Also, we got in a full rake of these Ultimate Graphic Novel collections from Marvel. Now, these were originally released at £10. They're going to be straight across the board, £7 we're going to be releasing these at. We're going to create a couple of new tubs underneath the new releases here. I'm going to scale back the grab bags. They sell well enough, but it's not really what we're about. So I want to have complete stories, complete graphic novels at good prices for people. Maybe you're just dipping into comics, maybe you're buying them for a younger relative, whatever, but we want to have a good rake of this kind of stuff as well. So I'm going to scale back some of the grab bags. I'm going to put in some of these. I mean, just to show you a couple of examples, Civil War's in there, Daredevil, Born Again, Iron Man, Demon in a Bottle. Those are just a few examples of some of the great titles that will be amongst those. And again, they'll all be going out into those tubs underneath. We've got a rake of the DC ones as well. Same again, I'm going to create a little section just here so that they're all together and go from there. So yeah, but again, we're all about the reading. We're all about, making it easy for new readers. We're all about making it easier for younger readers who want to get into it as well. So this is just something we very much believe in. So I'm doing this on the Tuesday morning, as I say. I haven't quite processed all the pull lists yet. They'll be done throughout the day of Tuesday because the delivery was a bit late yesterday. It came around sort of 2:30ish thereabouts. But what that did allow me to do, I should say as well, is that there is a new previews catalogs have arrived this week. So these are October previews for December releases. I've already done the boards behind the counter of our recommendations. So there's 5 DC, 5 Marvel, and 6 indie from 3 different companies. The books are there, of course, as always. You can come in, sit and have a read through. Come and see if there's anything that you'd like to put on your pull list. We will be recording a previews podcast as well, and again, we'll throw it up on the YouTube channel later in the week on top of that. So again, just making it as easy as possible for you guys, because again, that's what we're all about. Trying to make it as easy, get the information out there, and let you guys decide what appeals to you and what you don't want to miss out on. So yeah, but as I say, because I haven't processed the full delivery and I haven't got the variants, so I'll have to skip that section this week. But I do have tons to go through here anyway, with a whole pile of new graphics that have come in. I always just do a pile of one of each. There's always obviously multiple copies of these titles, and then I've got my pull list here. The one underneath there is actually a mixture of, it's on my pull list, but it's also new in this week, so perfect segue. But yeah, we'll kick things off with my pull list. So first of all, we have Old Dog. So again, this is going to be the inaugural title for this new initiative that we're running. We're going to be pricing these at £3 for a brand new number 1. That's normally a £4 title. If you've got it in your pull list, you'll also get it for that price as well. It's not like you'll miss out or anything like that. We'll have copies at the counter and on the racks, but also we are having another signing with Declan on the 15th of October. Again, there's a bit more information about it in the other video that I posted. But yeah, he's coming back by popular demand. Quite a few guys couldn't make it the week he came. Still had an amazing crowd, but it just gives people that second chance. And he'll be signing copies of Old Dog on the day. So that'll be at 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock joint on the Saturday. And again, we'll throw out a bit more information on that on the next sort of week or two leading up to it. But I read this yesterday. It is class. So yeah, Old Dog number 1 this week. Next up is Batman Beyond the White Knight. So we're continuing on with the Murphyverse. Sean Murphy, of course, writing and drawing, Dave Stewart on colours, and we're at the book 5 of Beyond the White Knight. Always goes top of my list when it comes in. An exciting new number 1 this week is Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. I mean, talk about a powerhouse creative team. You've got Gary Frank on covers, you've got Eduardo Risso on art, and you've got the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the icon, Bruce Campbell, writing. That is going to be good. That's a 6-issue miniseries, again, brand new number 1 this week. Next up, we have DC versus Vampires. We're up as far as issue 9 of this. This is from James Tynion, Matthew Rosenberg, of course, Olu Schmidt on art. Loving that series. The tie-in series has been good as well, All Out War. Next up, Detective Comics, a new issue for Ram V's fantastic Detective Comics run. This is 1064. Of course, he kicked off at 1062. Magnificently gothic, lots of dark shadows. Just really looking at a different side to Batman, and has been really good. Separates itself really nicely from the main Batman title by Chip Zdarsky, of course. Next up is a new issue of Human Target. So we're up to issue 7. So we're starting the second half of Human Target. It's going to be a 12-issue miniseries, of course. There was a one-shot in between, 1 to 6 and then 7 to 12, called Tales of the Human Target, which is really good as well. Ran 3 concurrent stories that all link together at the end. Very, very good. But yeah, it's back in earnest this week with book 7. Speaking of books coming back that are absolutely class and seems to be suffering a little bit from delays at the moment, which is not good, but at least it's almost at the end, is Nice House on the Lake. So we're up to issue 10. James Tenney IV, of course, writing. Alvaro Martinez Bueno on art. Jordi Belair in colours. Again, one of DC's absolute best titles. Trades are available on the racks of issues 1 to 6. And yeah, it's just been one of the best titles in comics in recent years. It's a sad day as Task Force Z comes to an end this week, issue 12 of 12. I've been saying it for pretty much every single issue so far. It's the most underrated, underread DC title right now. Fantastic stuff. Matthew Rosenberg, Eddie Barrows on art. It's got humour, it's got action, it's got a bit of horror, it's got a bit of redemption for some classic villains, it's got no redemption for other villains, and it has Jason Todd as the focal point. Very good stuff. Cannot recommend enough. If you never read the singles, get it in trades. Next up, we have a new Robin series, which I'm going to give a go to. I'm not a Tim Drake fan. I've said this before. I'll say it again. He's the most boring Robin of them all. Little know-it-all. Damien has the family connection. Dick was the first. Jason Todd is more interesting and had a darker path he went down. Even Cassie, Stephanie, all of them I thought were more interesting. But I'm going to give it a go. It's a new series. It's a brand new number 1. We'll see where it takes us. And it's also replacing the Damian Wayne Robin series, so at least I've got a Robin-shaped hole in my pull list, so I can just replace it. Next up, on to a bit of Marvel now. We have Amazing Spider-Man next up. So this is issue 10, which seems to be a little bit of a link in again to Judgment Day. Now, issue 9 was a link in as well. I'm not really reading Judgment Day. I tried to give it a go. It just wasn't for me, but I quite enjoyed issue 9, which was a Wolverine tie-in to it, although it was more to the Hellfire Gala. So I'm guessing this will follow up to that with some stuff with Gwen. Really enjoying the Ant-Man series that's been continuing as well. Just a wee 4-issue mini-series, but we're up as far as issue 3 for that. Next up is Captain America, Symbol of Truth. I find with Captain America, so there's Sentinel of Liberty, which is the Steve Rogers title, and there's Symbol of Truth, which is the Sam Wilson title. This seems to be the guest star movie of the week type series of the two. The other Cap is very much a deep cover spy noir, whereas this one so far has a Deadpool in it. Now we have the Black Panther appearing in it, but it's a lot of fun. It's a nice counterpoint to the other Cap title. Next up, we have Thor returning just to its own stuff. Obviously, Thor was involved in that crossover event with Hulk in the last little while. Looks like Al Ewing is co-writing this one. You've got Donny Cates as well, Salvador De Rocca on art, and featuring everybody's favourite symbiote there as well. On the indie side of things, this is a number 1 I'm really looking forward to called Briar. This is from Boom Studios. Seems to be a take on an old classic fairy tale. It's Christopher Cantwell writing, so great writer. Jermaine Garcia on art as well. Got a very European flavour to this one. Great art, and Boom have been knocking it out of the park with those number 1s recently. New issue this week of Department of Truth. We're up as far as issue 21, so still going strong. Tinian again, but Martin Simmons on art for this one. So Department of Truth. My absolute favourite Boom series at the moment. It has even eclipsed Something is Killing Children. It may not have eclipsed Seven Secrets, but Seven Secrets is finished, unfortunately. But this is grim. I've been absolutely loving this. Stephanie Phillips writing, Flaviano on art, all about the Grim Reapers and people being transported from one world to another. Brilliant series, darkly funny as well, but great art, and I've went on big in that title. I've been collecting second prints, foil variants, reveal variants, all sorts. Next up is I Hate This Place. I got caught up in this the other day. I let issue 3 and 4 build up. This is issue 5 out this week. This is a great little haunted house type tale. It's all about a couple who moved to a remote house out in the sticks that one of their their grandparents had left them. But what they find is all the world around them is haunted at night, and the house is the only safe place. So Kyle Stark, always a really good writer for this kind of stuff. Artem Topolin on art. Really, really good series that from Image Comics. We're sticking with Image with the Magic Order 3, so we're up to issue 3 of this. Again, I'd let issue 1 and 2 build up of this. Great fun. Just the usual Mark Miller stuff, quite ironic, quite fun, quite sarcastic in places, but never skimps on the horror. Next up we have Stillwater, which of course is starting to wind down. We're coming to the end of Stillwater, I think, with issue 18. So Chip Zdarsky writing, Ramon K. Perez has, as he has for every single issue, drawing. And again, just all about the town where you go to. You can't die, as long as you stay within the city limits. And then finally, we have another one I'm really excited about this week. This is Hell is a Squared Circle. So this is an oversized prestige format one-shot from Aftershock. I mean, it's written by Chris Condon, writing that Texas Blood, easily one of Image's best titles at the moment. Artist Francesco Biagiani. You've got a lovely Jacob Phillips cover there as well. And this is Wrestling Noir. Bring it on. That's going to be class. Really looking forward to that. So yeah, so that is my pull list minus this mystery box, of course, which I will reveal now because, as I say, it's on my pull list, but we've also got extra copies in as well. It's very much a luxury item, but what a luxury item. So anytime a DC Absolute comes in, they always come in packaged like this to protect them, which is great. So you know you're always going to get a brand spanking new perfect product. And this one I've been waiting for a while. This was a title that, you know, the way it was released, the delays in it coming out, it really did the title no favors, which is a real shame because there was such craft in it, brilliant writing, phenomenal art, which is why the Absolute Edition is going to be superb. It's going to blow that art up. So if we just open this up, you see a brilliant flash of yellow. And what we have here is Doomsday Clock, the Absolute. Now this is going to be phenomenal. It's got all 12 issues, of course, and it's got more than 60 pages of behind the scenes extras. You know, it's that blown up art, it's a brand new cover, you know, Superman flying against the Doomsday Clock, just great stuff. It's got the Watchmen font and color scheme on the side. I really can't wait to crack that open because I've been purposely putting off a reread of Doomsday Clock ever since the singles came out, just because I really was looking forward to the Absolute Edition, and here it is. So I'm really looking forward to tucking into that. And, you know, as I say, I think it's a story that's definitely going to read better fully like that as opposed to month by month, because the first 3 issues were month by month, then it went to 1 every 2 months, then it went to 1 every 3 months, and then it went to it'll be out whenever it's out. So yeah, Absolute Doomsday Clock, as I say, on my pull list, but also the bridging gap to what's in this week as well. So kicking things off for what's in this week, we've been getting more and more manga in recently. So we got volumes 2 and 3 of this last week. We've got volume 1 now in stock of Mob Psycho 100, so from the creator of One Punch Man, of course. So that is a new one this week. We got a couple of titles aimed at younger readers. So you can see the difference in size here. So DC make this very clear. So the one on, as you look, it's on my left, but it's on your right, is DC graphic novels for kids. This is DC graphic novels for young adults. So we kick off with the kids one. This is Dead Man Tells the Spooky Tales. So again, one for the younger readers, but we'll also include, you know, a lot of classic DC horror characters. The young adult one is Constantine. This is called Distorted Illusions. This is to do with a younger, more irreverent Constantine. It's written by Cami Garcia, who of course wrote Teen Titans, Raven, for example, and then the artist is Isaac Goodhart, who did Victor and Nor, which was a Mr. Freeze one, a Gotham love story. So yeah, aimed at young adults, sort of 12 to 14 range. That's aimed more at your 6 to 12, thereabouts. So moving on, we have Avengers. We're up to volume 10 of Jason Aaron's run. So this is going to cover issues 51 to 56. It also includes the free comic book day issue Avengers Hulk, the Avengers story from that, but also includes Avengers 1 million BC as well. So continuing Jason Aaron's store run, that is coming to an end pretty soon, I believe. Back in stock this week is Batman The Adventures Continue Season 2, so continuing on that animated vibe, introducing the Court of Owls. When this came out, this was one of my favorite titles at the time, all collected into one edition now. So it was 7 issues in total, but then there's also a story from a DC one-shot, which was 'Tis the Season to Be Freezing. There's that. You'd be forgiven for thinking this is a book that came out last week, but it's not. They just used the same promo picture of The Rock. I mean, DC, do you not have any other photos? But what this one is, this is called Black Adam Rise and Fall of an Empire. What this is this collects the complete Black Adam saga from the pages of 52. So experience the epic that shook the very foundation of the DC universe and started the Third World War. So some classic Black Adam to jump into there just before the movie comes out soon. Another really fun title recently. This was an 8-issue mini-series from Dan Jurgens with Ryan Sook on art. This was Blue and Gold, or Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Really good stuff. You know, 2 superheroes for the social media age. Really, really fun. Good humor to that. Apologies for the interruption there. A little delivery at the door. Always new stuff coming in. But yeah, moving on. Next up is Robin. So I just talked there in my pull list about taking on Tim Drake Robin because the Damian Wayne title had finished. But it finished really, really strongly. Now this is volume 2, which covers issues 7 to 12 and also the annual. I'm not sure if there'll be a volume 3 because volume 3 essentially was Shadow War, which was Joshua Williamson's crossover event with Deathstroke and Batman. So it may or may not link together. We will wait and see, or there might be a volume 3, we'll wait and see. But yeah, fantastic stuff that from Joshua Williamson, Roger Cruz on art a lot of the time, Gleb Melnikoff on art as well, just brilliant book. Next up is the next volume of Moon Knight. So on the volume 2, this covers issues 7 to 12, but also includes the Devil's Reign Moon Knight one shot as well. Again, one of Marvel's best titles. Jed MacKay's knocking us out of the park time and time again, and Alessandro Capuccio on art. Next up is a really fun one. This is from the writer of this, or one of the writers of The Sopranos, Nick Santoro, Lee Ferguson on art. This is a new take on Santa Claus, reimagined as a mobster. But this is Naughty List. Good fun from Aftershock Comics. Next volume up of Reign of X. So we're up now as far as volume 14. This includes issues of X Factor, Way of X, Children of the Atom, Marauders, X-Men. Tons of great creative talent involved. And again, if you're wanting to read X-Men, the current run, the Dawn of X and the Reign of X stuff is definitely the way to go. Next up is a first volume for Strange. So this is essentially Clea taken over from Stephen Strange. And again, this is Jed MacKay. I've been told this is fantastic. I haven't been reading it myself, but I've been told it's really, really good. So I might actually pick up one of those trades as well. Titans United was a return to a classic Titans lineup, 7-issue miniseries. This was written by Kevin Scott, and all 7 issues are here. So you've got, Dick Grayson Nightwing, you've got Red Hood, you've got Beast Boy, you've got Donna Troy, you've got Starfire, you've got Hawk and Dove, you've got Superboy. Sounds very similar to the Titans TV show, but not linked to that at all. It's very much its own thing. If you're reading the X-Men stuff separately, the next volume of Jerry Duggan's X-Men is here. This is volume 2. This collects X-Men 7 to 12, and of course with longtime artist Pepe Larraz along for the ride there as well. On to some lovely hardcovers. First of all, we have The Human Target. So it's said about issue 7 being out this week, which is the start of the second half of this. This is the first half. So this is volume 1, which is issues 1 to 6. Brilliant title from Tom King. Of course, I'm a fully paid up member of the Cult of King, but the best thing about this is the Greg Smallwood art. It is gorgeous. Next up, this is actually from last week, but I just thought I'd throw it up because we didn't obviously do a show last week. The first volume of Dark Knights of Steel has come out in a hardcover as well. So this is Tom Taylor, Yasmin Putri. This is essentially Game of Thrones meets the DC Universe. Really, really good stuff. Nice Dan Mora covers to it as well. Yeah, I mean, it's been really, really fun because Tom Taylor does these alternate universe things really well for the simple reason that he's not constrained by anything. He can do whatever he wants with the characters, which means they're expendable, which means they're always in danger. I'd also talked about it in my own pull list, DC versus Vampires, fantastic title, James Tynion IV, Matthew Rosenberg, Otto Schmidt on art, which is, it's a great taking over the DC Universe title because it's not a sudden zombie virus or a sudden occurrence. This is something that's been planned behind the scenes for years, and now is the time to strike. Really, really good as well. This was a really cool mini-series from Dark Horse Comics. This is from a local creator called Colin Lorimer. He was one of the first guys ever to sign something to the store. We've got it up there on the wall. But this was a 4-issue mini-series, I believe, horror mini-series, written and drawn by Colin Lorimer. Very highly recommend this. A desperate mother's 5-year search for her missing son leads to the small town of Bremont and the mysterious Phillips family. Daisy Phillips, like many teens, has a hard time fitting in, but for atypical reasons. She is over 8 feet tall and still growing, and believes herself descended from cannibalistic giants spawned from the outcasts of heaven. Yeah, modern horror. Great stuff, that. New volume of Assassin's Creed Valhalla has come out. This is subtitled Forgotten Myths. So based, of course, on the Assassin's Creed game, and they always release them as these nice hardcovers. Fun crossover back in stock this week is Transformers Back to the Future. If you've ever wanted to see the DeLorean transform, this is the book for you. Good humour to it as well. They really get Biff really good in that. Back in stock again as well is the second volume of Alien, so Alien Volume 2 Revival. Of course, Philip Kennedy Johnson, Salvador LaRocca continuing the Alien stuff within the Marvel Universe. Another one getting back in stock, just obviously we handed out the free issue ones of this for Batman Day. So we wanted to make sure we had a few copies of this in stock because that first issue's class. Batman Hush, what more can I say? Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, one of the best Batman books around for me anyway. Department of Truth back in stock, volume 3. So again, James Tynion, Martin Simmons. This covers up as far as issue 17. And yeah, Department of Truth, paranormal, conspiracy theories, deep dark undercover agents, tons to enjoy in there. And then the last one, which will be added to our expanding Epic Collection section, which of course over to my left, you're right, is the latest volume of Moon Knight. So this is volume 4 of Moon Knight when it comes to the Epic Collections. This covers a span of time from 1984 to 1990. So it collects a miniseries from 1985, 1 to 6. It includes Marvel Team-Up issues, Marvel Fanfare issues, Mark Spector Moon Knight miniseries 1 to 7, Marvel Fanfare, Marvel Superheroes, and some material from Solo Adventures as well. So tons of great stuff in that. So there you go. That is the Coffee Hero show for this week. So this is for the end of September. Again, uploading this on the Tuesday night. New releases will be hitting on the Wednesday morning. Pull lists will be done by then, ready for collection. Again, just a final gentle reminder, if you don't want to pull lists with us anymore, or you want to trim titles, or whatever, just get in touch with us. We're not that scary. That'd be great. But anyway, hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you enjoy this. Hope it proves useful, keeping you up to date. And I look forward to seeing you in store soon. So take it easy.